Irritated right now. Okay, we are live.
Hold on, give him a second.
It turns out we had to get rid of Steven.
That
was the problem.
Everybody's got to refresh.
Oh, does that mean?
Just give everybody a minute to refresh it so that it works again. Oh, there we go.
Hooray!
Yay.
Do you guys have to watch a new commercial?
Nope, I didn't.
Okay.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. And we were talking about how great my horse is.
No, you were talking about how great your horse was.
And you were listening to how great my horse was.
I was pretending to listen.
All right, so somebody needs to make a tracking check to try to find.
Not me.
One, two,
I
three,
think
nine.
we all know.
Definitely not.
To me.
My tracking skills are new.
Let's see.
And this is just going to be to find the estate. It's kind of hidden in the woods.
I'll just be me right now since they're slow.
I feel like you'd be looking in the dirt for all these faint signals, and there's this huge wedding party.
20. All right, yeah. So you eventually find a path that's just a little too wide to be a game path, and then eventually it leads you to an actual path that's wide enough for carriages and things to come through.
Mm-hmm. Are there the balloons on the gate?
No, there's no balloons on the gate, but you guys do follow this road for a little ways. It's actually closer to 35 minutes out than 20 minutes. So Olivier was
Lying
just giving
to
you
me.
best guess.
It wasn't lying. He was just.
Okay, so you guys get out there. You can see that it is a modest cottage that's 2 stories. It's probably got 10 bedrooms in it, 2 different kitchens. There's probably a front room and then like a living room, and then there's probably a gathering space in the east wing. The grounds are well manicured, but the edges of the grounds have been allowed to grow a little wild in an attempt to disguise. You know, this is supposed to be some sort of a secluded getaway, so they don't want people just like being able to see it from the road or whatever, right? But once you look inside, like once you get up close, you can see that the grounds are like the lawn is mowed and the bushes are all, clipped into shapes, and there's rows of flowers, like they've actually planted, flowers here and there and that kind of stuff. In the backyard, which is the largest section of the grounds, there is a gazebo that's up on like a dirt mound dais that's sort of framed in stone. There's an arch behind the gazebo, and you guys can actually see that there are already some preliminary tables and chairs that have been set out, and it looks like they're set out in such a way that a group of people could be looking at the gazebo and watching what's going on in the gazebo.
So it's set up for a wedding.
It sure looks like it. There aren't any decorations or anything, but unless they're having some sort of a concert or something out here, yeah. You guys also go ahead and make investigation checks. Everybody make an investigation check for me.
17.
Good job.
Not bad.
15.
Investigation?
Yeah.
14.
3?
14.
Oh, 14. Okay.
Dirty 20.
13.
Okay, good. All right. So as of right now, you can see patrols going around the outside, the exterior of the yard and around the house. The patrols seem to be limited to 4 house guards, but 3 of the house guards are also walking with a dog, with a hound. Okay. And they move in regular patrols, and they check in with each other every time they pass. And it's basically the almost the exact same pattern that you guys saw at the Renaud estate back in Arragas, except that the patrol time is much faster because this is a much smaller estate. So you've basically got two guards moving clockwise and 2 guards moving counterclockwise, and they check in with each other every time they pass. So they, clear.
And
You know.
they both have dogs, or just one?
Only 3 of the 4 guards are walking with dogs. You don't
Okay.
know where the 4th guard, whether he's got a dog or
Okay.
he's not trained in handling a dog, or whether they just didn't have enough dogs, or
Okay.
maybe his dog called in sick. You don't know. You'd have to talk to their HR department about that.
Yeah.
Find out for sure. So, after the house seems quiet, there isn't any movement or lights in the house other than the security lighting that's around the outside. You know, some torches and there's some gas lamps on the actual cottage, on the actual house. But other than that, the place seems pretty quiet. You guys, does anybody want to try to get onto the grounds, or because
Well-
you'd be risking being spotted by guards?
What's
I was
covered?
gonna ask you guys if,
Concealment work.
do you want me to go talk to see if she's here to try to talk to her?
That seems imprudent.
Why?
I mean, she could turn into. You can't fly yet, right?
I can't
Well,
fly,
she
but I can.
Still
climb,
wants
I
to
can-
get married. For
As
If
what
she
we've
sees
heard.
you, she
Well-
might report your presence, and then they would double
She's not
down.
waiting to be broke out of here.
Yet.
She knows us though, and she knows me. I mean,
Not like really well though. Like we're not.
yeah, but we helped her last time, so.
Yeah, but she also knows we're mercenaries.
And she owes us money.
No, she doesn't. She gave us.
She
money.
gave us money and she was like, there's more where that came from, and she flipped her hair. I remember that.
Yeah, but I feel
I'll
like
never forget that. That sassy hair flip.
Yeah.
Just curse her and her
I feel
hair.
like we should try to talk to her though, to see if she's actually like wanting to marry him. And
No, we already.
Well, we can do
She's
that
got-
after we,
Yeah.
raid the compound.
Well, but I mean, the
Drag her
wedding's
away.
today,
Right.
and he wants us to bring her back.
Right. And
So-
then on the way back.
We have arranged for a natural way for him to not show up for the wedding, but that doesn't mean she's gonna come back.
Well, he made it very clear that we don't have an option to not.
And we
bring
haven't
her
actually
back.
talked to her. So I don't know.
Maybe she'll have a change of heart when she realizes her one true love doesn't care enough to show up to his wedding.
I mean, all I'm concerned with is getting her back to her father. If she runs away again and just so happens to get married like 3 days from now, that's not our
That's all.
problem. That's not our mission. You know, today, just we need to take her back once and then we're good.
That's accurate.
Who cares?
Our score has been
Sure.
settled as soon as we bring her back.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna get her back.
In a sack.
Well, that would be one way to do it. Would be in a sack.
Yeah, but that's mean.
It'd be meaner to let her get married.
Probably.
One of our fans has suggested that you guys wait until the priest asks if there's anybody who objects to the wedding.
I had considered it. I considered it. I may declare my undying love for her for the 2 moments that I saw her before she went invisible.
Speaking of priests, Kethra, just knock out the priest and then take his place.
Ooh, I can do that. And then it's
I
like,
do believe you
Psych!
read that
And you can just
ceremony book.
I
officiate
do. I can do
incorrectly.
weddings. I can do
Officiate
weddings. Yeah.
incorrectly.
I
and
think-
then
Ooh,
they're not
we can
married.
do that.
Knocking out a priest that's on a
No,
higher
no.
rung than you is like
Well,
totally
okay.
I'll
silly.
knock out the priest.
Well,
I can do that.
A
For you.
priest of Aro, I'm not gonna do it. But if it's not a priest of Aro, it's a lesser priest. So.
It'll most likely be
Pagan.
a priestess of Galuna. Galuna is the goddess of love, so that's the church that most people go to for as far as wedding ceremonies go, because
It's a lesser priest.
Galuna can give blessings of fertility and blessings of happiness and blessings of long life and blessings of
I can't do fertility.
good,
No.
a decent spaghetti sauce. People don't get tired of
I
each
can't
other
do that.
after
Yeah.
7 years.
Man,
Or is more like
spaghetti sauce
Thundering
blessing sounds pretty
vengeance.
good.
All right, so
Speaking of
I don't think
invisibility-
anyone has answered Liliana's question. Do you guys want her to infiltrate? And
I vote nay.
I mean, I can go see if she's there.
I mean, what if?
The talking part is what I'm disagreeing to.
Right. If you want to go see that she's there, I have
See
no
if she's
objection.
there and or talk to her.
No.
Not the end or part.
Right.
X nay on the end or.
I mean,
And-
Liliana can do whatever she wants when she's
Right.
there.
And then nothing.
I mean,
And then no.
Either way. I'm going to
Liliana,
have
I
to
know
fight
that
for some
you
guards.
mean well, but sometimes you don't say things in the most tactful way, and I'm just worried that it could.
wake up, bitch! We're gonna break you
No,
out.
not like that. Just more like I don't know.
I get what you're
The way
saying.
Liliana says things sometimes.
I'm just worried
This is really
about,
delicate.
you know, like, I don't know how we're gonna like get her to leave if she wants to be here. I think it's kind of a dumb mission.
Pretty sure that's why they call it abduction/kidnapping, because the person does not want to go.
We are not.
Yeah. This is going to be like driving a.
We're
What
not
is this weird
kidnapping
Or
her.
the lass's voice on the wind.
Basically, I don't want to be a kidnapper.
We are not kidnapping
Well-
her. We are rescuing her.
Yeah. Well.
From herself, maybe?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think she's
Yeah.
a smart girl that can make good decisions.
We have different
I mean,
opinions
Pick the
on
movie.
consent
Yeah, but her
and
dad's
ownership.
an asshole.
It's
For
true.
real.
I do have invisibility that I can cast in case anybody else is interested in going.
Normally, I would totally agree.
I am
with you
really sneaky, so I should probably go.
that
I
she
mean-
should.
Anyone at all? Is anyone interested?
I can cast magic.
Anybody,
Yeah.
Don't be shy.
I'm so good at sneaking. Got my broom.
Well, I guess it's gonna be me. Nobody's interested.
I don't know. What do y'all think?
I don't think any of us
mean-
are going to be able to talk her out of it.
Well, I definitely think that she should go ahead and find where she is.
Right.
Anyways, like that should definitely be something that happens.
Let me think. What should I be? When I look at the house, like, where are the entry points?
There's a front door. There's an entry point near the kitchen. There's an entry point on the east wing. And then there are some huge glass sliding doors in the back that open out into the gardens and the backyard.
Okay.
Unless you're also talking about windows, in which case there are literally dozens of windows on both floors. Not all of them are open.
I was gonna say if
But
they're
it is the summer.
how well guarded are the doorways? Is
You
there,
don't
like,
see.
a guard right there with a dog.
Nope,
Or
you
are
don't
they
see
just
anybody
patrolling
that's
around?
like guarding the entryways to the house. You only see the 4 house guards and the 3 dogs patrolling.
Ah, wait a minute. Do I sense anything with my divine senses that allow me to sense things? Like demons and or undead. Anywhere around. Which I hardly ever use this power.
Yeah.
Or remember.
The you well, you don't sense any demons.
Okay, good.
And there isn't
That's
any
clear.
undead within your smell range or hearing range.
That was a close one, you guys.
Yeah. So we know there aren't any demons or undead out here.
Excellent.
Dusty asked if anybody has any candy.
Candy?
I think we're gonna do the James Woods where we.
Lure her out.
Yeah.
He's candy
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I think.
Ooh, he's candy.
That's a good
That,
idea.
that might be a tough sell.
Dang.
They probably have candy for the wedding.
Candy's not tough.
Because I mean, I could be like a spider and just crawl up and see.
Spider
But
with a
if
weird face.
When they're with weird
No,
eyes.
with
That's
8
purple
silver
hair.
eyes.
Flowing purple hair.
Yeah.
I would have 8 little bitty silver eyes. But
That'd
the
be so
dogs would
terrifying.
ignore me. If
So
I-
cute.
That was a
Does
silver.
Spider have a wig?
I want a spider with 8 little glowing eyes.
Well, if you think you can trek all the way over there and trek all the way back as a
Yeah,
spider,
it'll take you a little bit of time to move across the entire.
Would you
Spider's not
would you
persuaded.
like me to put you on some sort of small rock and sling you at a window? Then you can jump off the rock onto the window. It would cut your travel time
Yeah.
down
To almost
Stop
nothing.
that. Yeah, I don't want to like hit the wall, lose my one, little tiny bit of health, and then immediately pop back into myself. That
Oh,
would
you should be
really-
fine. You're very light.
No.
You just
We discussed gravity last time.
We did this before.
Yeah, I think we ended that
I still
discussion
think it's
with,
a good plan.
with the unanimous vote that we don't want to add too much science into our magic.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I don't think
I'm
that's
just-
my vote.
I wanted us to have it as an option. So
I'm about
I
to
don't know, Beast
cast
Sticks.
invisibility and
So,
just walk in.
with beast form, you can
We're
switch
going to-
forms as part of the same casting, right? Or same.
Can I?
I don't know. Can you?
it's a good question.
That's a great question. I've never thought of it. I always thought it was like you change, and that's one of your changes per short rest.
You can't change
Change.
it to a bunch of different stuff
You
like
can, but
Ben 10 style.
it's like 2 times per short rest. You can change for 2 hours or whatever at the level I'm at. So,
Maybe like a weasel.
All right.
That's what
Well,
I was last time. I was thinking that'd be
Here,
good.
I'll make this easy. I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself.
These,
Whoa, where'd Vesper go?
I'll go search for her.
well,
While
Don't get
Leon
caught.
I'm gonna be a weasel.
is
Careful
whatever.
of the
Before I do
dogs.
that, I'm
They can
casting
pass
those
on
smoke
you.
trace.
okay.
Wait,
Well,
guys, before you go, we should have a signal if you get caught.
Two barks.
I
Sure.
I hand
Okay.
I have a
They can
signal
hear me.
horn. I can hand you my signal horn.
My
I don't
tiny
know.
little weasel paws are going.
The Orlean family battle, horn of battle.
It's part of a set.
Is it?
If we need help, I'm sure you'll.
Here, okay.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
My manly screams.
All right. Are you casting Pass Without Trace on yourself and Vesper, or just yourself?
On myself.
Okay, Vesper.
But
You still need to make
it's-
stealth rolls.
It's within 60 feet of me.
But I would
so-
get advantage.
Yeah.
What kind of?
It's
Oh,
plus
no,
10.
it's within 60 feet of you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just get plus 20 on all your rolls,
Plus 20.
or plus 10 on all your stealth rolls,
It's
right?
like,
Well, the
Man, that's
being
funny.
invisible is
Old
plus
school.
10.
that's a crazy.
No, being invisible means so. Not to diverge, but 5th edition really messed up invisibility in my mind because they literally just make it so that you're not visible, but you can still be smelled and heard, and they can track you. They can throw a bunch of stuff in the air, and your body will deflect
But
it, so they can see the outline. Of
It does give you
It's
advantage on
ridiculous.
stealth checks.
Really? I need to buy a bag
Yeah.
of flour.
It's it's really lame. It's
No,
really lame what they
it's
did
the-
to invisibility.
it's the
They
salt
made-
all
they made it
over
completely
again.
worthless.
Later on, you
Okay,
get greater
so-
invisibility, which is
If
better.
you get to be heavily obscured for the purposes of hiding. So that means that even if you're standing in the middle of the room, you can make a stealth check, and if you got passed without, if you're within 60 feet of the weasel, then you get plus 10 to that roll.
Vesper,
Okay.
stay
So-
within 60 feet of the weasel.
Could I
Yes.
pick up the weasel and then go invisible?
I
Probably.
suppose, yeah. I suppose that shouldn't be a problem.
I
Okay.
could crawl up and get in your pocket if you want.
Ooh.
Our powers combined.
Elves are a little
Form.
weird sometimes.
Voltron.
Well, if you're gonna do that though, like let me down in a non-dog place, and I'll climb up
Deal.
into the house
All right, so you turn into a weasel.
after casting Pass Without a Trace. Yes.
Okay, you cast Pass Without Trace. Then you turn into a weasel. Then you crawl up into Vesper's
This is not convoluted.
glove compartment.
Uh-huh.
One of his inner breast pouches that's
But I can't-
still on the outer layer of clothing.
Why
I'll,
do
like-
we
I'll
ever
go
do
underneath
anything
his
the easy
cape or
way?
There we
something.
go.
That doesn't happen.
All right, and then Vesper, once that has happened, Vesper then casts invisibility on himself.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys begin moving towards the house. Vesper, climb check to get over the fence.
Am I a floating weasel?
You're invisible if you're tucked into any of his
Okay,
clothes.
just
I mean,
making sure.
you are a weasel all the time, but you're invisible if you get tucked into his clothes.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't a floating weasel.
You were an
just
invisible
No.
weasel.
What is
Yeah.
climb?
It's athletics.
Okay.
What? Oh.
He's trying to get over the fence.
In fact, I whispered,
5.
you're both very
All right.
invisible.
So, roll a stealth check.
Oh, 1.
I toss
Okay.
you over the.
So,
You should have
The rest of us are stepping back real slow.
Kill yourself on a
so
swipe.
Vesper disappears. Then you see the fence shake a little bit.
I jumped
Then you
off of him.
then you hear like And then you see a splinter break off and get covered about 2 inches with blood, and you hear Vesper go, and then the fence stops shaking, the splinter breaks this way, and you see a little bit of blood drip, and then Vesper, do you go back? Oh, take 1 hit point. Do you go back towards the group, or are you going to try a different area of the fence?
Oh, and you hear.
Yeah. From it, yeah, no, you hear.
I'm moving around.
Okay.
Oh, I jumped off of him because I'm like chittering.
Oh no, you're in my shirt.
Yeah, you're under.
You're being worn.
In a pocket
Yeah, you
under
can't-
his vest.
You can't get out. You're
Yeah,
trapped.
I can. I said I'm under his cape because I just crawled up the back.
Now
of
the
his
weasel's
leg.
like scratching at your back, trying to escape. Oh, what a comedy!
I swear to God, I'll
I
try it.
am going to try a different spot.
All right. So you move down the fence a little bit. You find a place where the fence is near a tree.
Okay.
Okay. Roll another climb check.
Come on.
Oh.
What did you get?
5. It was going to 11.
All right.
And then it went.
How is this happening?
Alright.
Okay.
Stealth.
So make another stealth check.
Oh my god.
Are you distraction or stealth? Oh, it's +10. So
Oh.
You still get +10
Oh, I didn't add that.
yeah,
until.
it would have been.
Well, but you rolled a
Roll a
1,
one, yeah.
like a
Oh,
natural
that's true.
1.
Well, no, his second one was a 4. So whatever 4 would be +10 plus your modifiers.
Let's see.
His second one.
3.
6, 7, 8.
That's gonna be
9.
20.
Okay, so this time the fence rattles only slightly, but your friends don't seem to notice, and neither do any of the patrol guards.
How do you think it's
All right.
going?
All right, so this time you try to climb the tree.
I'm gonna just pray to
Okay.
Aura that it
All right,
works.
so I'm gonna go ahead and give you advantage. Because we're gonna say that as a boy you climbed trees once,
As an
but you've never climbed a fence. As a noble, you've never had to climb a fence. You hire people to climb it for you, or someone opens the gate.
This is why we have ladders.
That's right.
What? No, why would I take that?
Okay.
To clean the blood off the fence,
Is this climb?
because the
Yeah,
dogs
climb.
are going to be able
18.
to smell it.
Okay, great. You climb up the tree.
I don't
You
have that.
shimmy out onto
Good
one of the
mending.
branches. You gently lower yourself down, drop into the
That's
grass.
my catnip.
Yeah,
And
and cast it on the fence.
Mental note: I'll try the tree first next time,
Oh.
as these fences are deceptively
I have to
difficult
walk
to
from
scale.
catching,
Which makes
There's no
sense because
guards
they are
around.
in fact a security measure.
Yeah.
All right.
They're just
So you
sneak up
begin
there.
trotting across the yard. Which
I
part of
will.
the house would you like
I'll
to
do that in a
approach?
minute.
Front door, back door, east wing, kitchen.
Let's go ahead. Oh, probably.
Yeah, no, I can totally.
The dogs are going to flip out if they smell blood on the fence. So
Anyways, let's try east wing.
All right. So you go around to the east wing door and you try it. Odd or even.
Even.
It is unlocked.
nice.
Blissfully. It opens inward and it doesn't make any noise.
I put on my burglar gloves.
Oh, you have burglar gloves. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
They're
It's
over
the
there.
third-
There's
it's the
two
third-
Yeah,
birds.
you think it's your burglar gloves because those are also invisible. So you're just you reach into your glove pouch and you're just making your best guess.
You know, to
I'm
be
gonna
honest,
hop-
they're all the same gloves, but in this
I'm gonna
case,
hop
it's a
off
burglar
of
glove.
Really? All right, we'll stop in a minute. All right, so you put on your burglar gloves.
Yeah.
You then open the door. It creaks inward softly. Not loud enough to make any noise, not to wake anyone. You see a whole long hallway with just a bunch of doors off of it. Pretty standard stuff, right? So you got a runner rug that goes down most of the length of the hallway and another runner rug. There's like paintings and a suit of armor and there's like a case. Yeah, there's like a bust of someone and there's a case that has like some sort of a flowering plant inside. It looks very old, but still somehow alive, and but the vase looks extremely expensive, and you can pretty much see all the way into what you suspect is the foyer / receiving area.
Mm-hmm.
There doesn't appear to be anybody moving anywhere in this hallway.
Can I make a perception check to see if I smell her in the house?
Sure.
Smell the
You
inside of my
haven't
satchel.
smelled her in a long time, though.
I thought I asked
So-
for them to bring by something of hers.
I'll let the weasel go.
Did we ever
She
get
definitely
that?
I don't think we ever got
Yeah.
that because
Yeah.
he was too busy.
Or we didn't go to the meetup, or something happened.
I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
I didn't
you
know if
guys
maybe
act-
he
I
dropped it off
remember
at the guild house. And
No, I remember now. You asked Dagon, and Dagon was like, "Yeah, I'll see if he wants to bring you some of his daughter's clothing," and then nothing ever came of it.
Okay,
But you can, in fact, make a perception check to see if you can
smell something in the
smell something in the house.
Okay, that's
All right,
it
when
would
you
be-
when you pop out of Vesper's vest,
that was 15 and a 17.
okay, when you pop out of
plus-
Vesper's vest, you become visible.
Okay.
No. I said, Godspeed, little weasel. Let's meet back here in 10.
Well, she still has passed without a trace.
Yeah, I still
Right.
have to have a trace.
Most-
Throw her down the hallway.
That's 29.
Okay, there is a plethora of
Oh, wait.
perfumes.
19. Sorry. 19.
You don't smell shit. Just kidding.
I was
there's
thinking
a,
stealth instead of.
yeah, there's a
Yeah.
bunch of
highest
perfumes
DC.
in the house. There's also everything smells really sterile and clean. So like all the natural wood smell has almost been driven out of like the walls and the paneling and stuff, which really bothers you. You do pick up that there is. Well, let's just say that you pick up the smell of a young woman upstairs.
I'll go upstairs.
Okay, are you following the weasel?
Mm-hmm.
All right, both of you make stealth checks.
Oh, God.
You can do this. You got this,
Plus 10,
Vesper.
I certainly hope.
And you have advantage because you're invisible still.
You have
One.
advantage.
Oh, advantage. Okay.
Stop rolling ones.
Stop. Double
Get
ones.
a
There we
different
go.
dice.
Um,
Do
27.
I have advantage?
You do not have advantage because you're not invisible.
I know that, but okay, no.
And I'm not
But
entirely
the
sure that
perception checks are
Vesper
at
should get advantage either. I think he gets advantage with his attack rolls, but I'm not sure. It's
No, he's
advantage checks.
invisible, so you get advantage on, right?
Stealth checks?
As far as I know. If someone's just looking for you, like if there's no way they
Uh-huh.
can see you or smell you, then there's no stealth check involved at all. You just get past them. I mean, not see you, smell you or hear you. Yeah, it's really lame. They screwed up invisibility. Invisibility should be non-detectability. Roughly
Well, it's a
speaking.
second level.
17.
That's the thing.
I know.
That
it's
would be
really dumb.
That would
I
be another spell, though.
It's really
We
dumb.
need a,
Okay,
we need a spell.
So
for
you rolled a
everything.
17. You rolled a what? What was your second roll?
Let's see.
13.
26.
A 26. Okay. So you guys make it all the way to the steps
28.
leading upstairs before you hear a door open and you see somebody coming out upstairs moving around. That's what the condition of invisible gives you. The person is carrying some sort of a light source, but it looks to be a dim light source like a candle, not like a lantern or a magical spell or anything like that.
If I'm gonna be anywhere near it, then I'll just crawl up his leg and under his cape.
Okay, you feel a weasel crawl up your leg.
I choose to ignore.
Wouldn't be the first time.
All right,
I'll
so
just assume what's going on is.
we'll go ahead and pause right
Pass
here.
without a trace, so you're kind of like melding into the shadows.
We'll pause right here and take our break.
All right.
So 10-minute break. That makes it 9:05. Come back at 9:05. For those of you at home, we're taking our standard 10-minute bio break. So stretch your legs, refill your drinks, smoke a cigarette if you got them.
We're going to do that because
Take
that's
a
very bad
pee.
for you.
Right. Rinse off your dishes, whatever. What have you.
If you got them, smoke them.
Rinse off my dishes.
But see, okay, as far as invisibility goes, that doesn't make sense that you have advantage on attacks because the spell ends if you take any action whatsoever as far as...
Yeah, if you
Any
do a
offensive
hostile
action was
action,
like-
it ends the
Yeah, so-
invisibility.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I'm wondering if that's just...
No, I know.
an oversight on their part or whatever.
Yeah, there's lots of. I love Dungeons and Dragons, and I love 5th edition. It seems a lot simpler. They've streamlined a lot of things. And you keep that. You're invisible.
Oh, that's it.
Maybe
They've streamlined
you should
a lot of
just
stuff,
toss rolls advantage on it.
but they've also
Either that or count it as total cover.
Well, it already says in the book that you are heavily obscured for the purposes of hiding, so that would be your stealth check to hide. The issue is that in order to make everything simpler, they made a lot of the statements really generic, and then they didn't bother to actually look and see how things like first level spells affect second level spells, affect third level spells, etc., etc. So I don't know if you guys remember, but we actually had this discussion with Fairy Fire, because
That's right.
Fairy Fire basically says you do not gain, if a creature is in the blast when it happens and fails their dexterity saving throw, they are outlined in a glow and they do not gain any benefits from being invisible. Which I got a crook in my nose about, because that's an example where a first level spell negates completely a higher level spell, and Dungeons and Dragons has never done that. And I feel like it's an oversight on their part, but rules as written, they did choose the word, does not gain any benefits from being invisible. So that means invisibility is, and actually when you read the invisibility thing in the player's handbook, the condition, it actually specifically says you can still be located by tracking, sound, or other means that do not rely on sight, which is really lame. Because that means that that means that if, for example, Liliana has smelled you guys enough that she could literally track you by scent, even if you're invisible. She could just track you unerringly. I mean, she wouldn't know. She probably wouldn't be able to get honed down to the exact square you're standing in, but she would know, she would be able to guess between 2 or 3 squares where you are, and that's a lot easier than.
I mean, it's not all that bad. Like if I get caught or something, like guess it's a little bit of solace to know that I'm not totally.
But just out of
It's
curiosity,
gonna be one of those things that doesn't come up too often, I don't think.
what does greater invisibility grant?
You can essentially attack and do whatever. It's
Yeah.
and it's a group.
Whoa, cool.
You or a creature you touch becomes invisible until the spell ends. Anything the target is wearing or carrying is invisible as long as it's on the target's person.
Right.
Okay, so I guess that means that invisibility. Well, you would at least get advantage on the first attack roll, right?
Sure. I don't.
Well, do you get advantages for surprise?
Oh yeah, that would be. I mean,
Because it would be.
the advantage for surprise is you get to act in a surprise round.
Ah, I see.
So if you roll really high on your initiative, you get to act, and then you get to act again before anybody has a chance to even respond to what you've done.
Got it.
Which is
So
which
you
is nice.
always get the surprise round if you're invisible, probably.
The spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell. Yeah.
But greater invisibility only lasts a minute, so you get a minute of just wailing on people
Yeah.
and casting spells. That's essentially for a 4th level spell. It better goddamn well be.
Yeah. So
Sounds tough. This is why I have yet to play a caster in a good long while. These complicated decisions are just, it gets me into trouble.
yeah. Well, it's just one of those. It's just one of those things where it just makes the job of being a DM a little harder.
I should not have the ability to turn myself invisible pretty much in any game, because I will just do bad things with it.
Yeah.
I usually play rogues, and I'm very untrustworthy in that role.
Granting you invisibility would lead to your fall from paladinhood.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no.
Well, okay. Here's a question.
I've been tempted.
I stabbed this guy in the throat with advantage.
I've been tempted a couple of times.
Yeah.
What is as far as invisibility goes? Let me make sure.
Like,
Okay, is this? Let's say you're going to try and steal from somebody. Is that considered an attack? Because
I don't know.
A sleight of hand check,
'Cause-
but
yeah,
still
'cause
because
the-
they're trying not to, ruffle their clothes and stuff. But
So the thing about an attack is you have to determine whether or not it would be harmful to the person.
it would be a
So
touch attack, right? But they're not trying to dodge.
well, no, it would just be a sleight of hand check. But the thing is people could argue, well, anything that the person would not want is a harmful thing, and I don't really subscribe to that very much, because you don't want to get your purse stolen or whatever, but at the same time, it doesn't hurt you. Like, you don't get stabbed, you don't lose blood from it, so
It's probably more fun if you don't come out of invisibility if you pickpocket people.
right.
So-
I would say,
you
but
go invisible, go into a room of sleeping enemies, and take all their weapons.
right.
And you're like, hey,
Yeah, that's
come on in.
That's not an attack, yeah. I wouldn't consider that an attack. But if you were going to, say, pour a bucket of grease on the ground so that somebody slips and falls into a lava pit, I would consider that an attack, because your action is meant to lead to actual harm.
While they're standing there.
So
Yeah.
So it's just phrasing then. So if I have this bucket of grease in my hands and I should go to check my watch
No, it's not just
over
phrasing.
this 45-degree incline.
No, it's not
leading-
just phrasing. No.
And the guy just so happens to walk in.
No. No.
Oh.
No. I mean, maybe a
Mr.
lesser
Bill style.
Maybe a lesser DM. Oh no, it was the bad. Maybe a lesser DM would fall for something like that, but not I. Not I. But if you were trying to lift a key or something like that, I would probably not cause that to.
So that's probably more for what, or more.
If you're
along
trying
the
to
lines
fuck someone's
they were
glass
thinking.
eye out while they're sleeping, yeah, that's an attack. 'Cause you gotta open.
Man,
Surgical
I can't tell you how
precision.
many times I've had to do that in the game.
All right.
Seems like every session, steal someone's glass eye. Their actual eye, straight out of their head.
Yeah.
Master
Gross.
thief.
That's gross. That's grody.
That would be a cool thing for a master thief to do: steal somebody's glass eye out of their eye.
Yeah, I actually
socket.
had a game master once who did that as the entrance test to join a thieves guild. There was a notorious policeman in the town who had a glass eye, and the way that you got into the thieves guild was you had to procure his glass eye from him without killing him.
Man, you think he would get really pissed?
Yeah,
Having his
but
glass eye stolen all the time.
But he would always just they would always give it back to him so as not to come under suspicion, and he just kept thinking he was misplacing it all the
He
time.
would just be like a little swampy from
I thought
the dude's
I
palm.
thought I left this eye on my dresser.
So he's like Barney Fife.
Yeah.
He's not a good sheriff. He's
I would
just
hate
kinda
to have thief hand grease on my
occupying the
glass
office.
eye, rolling around in my socket.
Gross.
It's sort of a visceral image.
Yeah. A little
Didn't you
bit.
once put a head in a box in a World of Darkness game?
I've done a lot of
Or
things.
was
with
that
games.
Wilson?
World of Darkness is
I'm pretty
definitely
sure.
the
There's one
test
time.
of.
You put a head in a box.
Yeah, I picked that up from one of my old game masters who put heads in boxes pretty often. They're still alive.
There. They're not
The heads
dead.
are still, I would never kill someone and put their head in a box. Only their living head in a box.
I see.
What?
Yes, you
Wasn't there a Doctor Who thing about that?
I don't remember.
Does it,
All the
how does that
bad
actually
guys-
work? Don't they? Would they regenerate from the head?
There was an old Vampire the Masquerade ability called biothaumaturgy that let you shift around people's organs and stuff in their body. The only thing a vampire needs to live is its heart to keep it from getting staked. So then they would push the heart up into the neck hole and sew it up, and then ash the body. Would just be a thanks, Eric. If you watch
So
Oh
yeah,
my God.
there actually used to be a Dungeons and Dragons monster that was that was kind of a vampire, but that's what it did was all of its organs were actually attached to
it was
its
an
neck,
undead thing. I remember that.
and it would pop up. It would attack you and bite your head off or cut your head off, and then it would literally release its hold on the body it was holding and float over your head, and all of its organs would slip into your throat, and it would seal.
Gross.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
Pretty nasty.
It was pretty gross. Also, if
Yeah,
anybody
fucking
witnessed that
nasty
process,
stuff.
they had to make an immediate fear check.
No
So-
kidding, man.
I would volunteer to fail.
Right.
Of course you would.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so we're back. You guys are standing at the base of the stairs in the foyer. A door opens up, flickering light casts eerie shadows along the wall. You hear the shuffling of heavy feet, and then you see a woman, an elderly woman, walking along basically the banister of the upper stairs, and then she comes down to the landing, then goes up the other stairs. She looks to be super groggy, very, very much hating to be up this late. And you see her go into a tiny room off to the right.
Does she have any like monogrammed pajamas?
Her pajamas were unmercifully revealing.
Silken.
I cover the weasel's eyes.
She's seen it. No, it wasn't monogrammed or anything, but due to the woman's age and the comfort with which she walks around the house without really having her eyes completely open, you guess that she lives here.
Okay.
Or that she comes here often enough that she knows her way completely around the entire house.
Okay.
All right, so she disappears into a room. The room that she left, the door is still standing open. Are you guys going to wait for her to come back, or are you going to try to sneak up there while she's in the
Gonna
loop?
peer in.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go up there and get set up.
Okay, so you guys go upstairs. Are you going to go in the direction that the woman went, or the direction that she came from?
Did we hear her talking to anybody?
Nope, she didn't say a word.
Can we go past the door that she went?
Sure.
So I imagine she came,
I mostly just want to like
went in. If we go past the
peek
door,
in all the rooms to see if there's anybody.
Okay, well, most of the doors are closed. The only door that's currently open is the room that she just came out of.
Oh.
given my knowledge of noble establishments, would I know what's a common room to put a bride in? Are there any social etiquette rules as far as it's bad luck to have her at a north-facing window, or
just
off
even
the
like
foyer
the lady of
is
the house.
forbidden?
Make a what would it be? Can I look at your character
History.
sheet real quick?
Maybe.
They don't have knowledge or ability on the board there.
Yeah, I know they don't have knowledge.
History.
Man, I use that one all the time.
Let's make it. Yeah, let's do knowledge history, intelligence history check. And since you're a noble, I'll give you advantage on the roll.
17.
Okay, so there isn't any really superstitious thing, bad luck things, stuff like that, other than a few religious observances that happen during the day. But you do know that it is very common for the family to sleep in one area of the house and their guests sleep in a different area of the house, hence having more than one wing in your home.
Okay.
So you can surmise that if the woman came from where she was sleeping, then that end of the house is where all of the Renauds are sleeping, and therefore Violetta, not yet being a Renaud, would most likely be stationed in one of the rooms on the other end of the house, which is in the direction the woman walked.
We'll head to
Okay.
guest bedroom then.
Yeah, we'll.
Or guest wing.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys move into the guest wing. You don't.
I'm gonna constantly be listening for and sniffing for people.
Okay. When you guys pass the door that the woman went into, Weasel, make a perception check. It's based on hearing.
Yeah, anything based on smell and hearing gives me advantage. So that's 12 plus 5.
17. Okay, behind the door you can hear the sounds of liquid being poured into a pot.
Can I peek under the door?
Sure. You see a woman peeing into a chamber pot.
Is it
You see the
Violetta?
old woman. No, it's the old woman with the candle.
Okay, keep going.
She has details, the likes of which you
Don't
have
care.
never seen.
Keep going.
As a young elf who lives forever,
John.
there were folds and sags.
She has
that
distinguished form, quite distinguished form.
you guys move forward down the hallway.
I'm a dirty forest child. I don't care. I move along.
Yeah, but I thought you were interested in human nature. You've never seen a woman that old peeing, especially not in the woods.
Probably.
All right.
I continue without.
It could be, in a sense, majestic to see such
Yeah.
a thing.
Vesper, you see the weasel pop out, peek under the door, and when she turns around, her silver eyes are unusually wide.
All right. I heard the liquid. I could imagine.
All right. So you guys move past. Make a let's do survival tracking. Make a survival check, both of you.
It's based on tracking, so that's going to be advantage. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's not smell or hearing. It's just going to be figuring out which room she's in.
Skulkery.
Well, tracking with smell or hearing is at advantage. So.
I know, but you're not going to be able to find her through smell or hearing. You're just going to be looking for her.
Okay. Do you want me to reroll?
Just roll.
18.
Oh, okay.
18. All right.
That's pretty
Oh.
solid.
It's about damn time. I keep getting ones.
So that's going to be 13.
13. Okay.
It would have been 24.
You guys come to a. Well, if you can smell her, then yeah.
Or hear her. Those are things that tracking involves.
Do you want Violetta to snore? I can make her a snorer
Okay.
if it'll help with the narrative. I can make her a snorer. All right.
Give her night terrors.
All right.
My name's Violetta. Please looking for me. Please, don't look for me. My name's Violetta.
No, not Violetta Castellani. Not
Stop,
Violetta.
nightmare creatures.
Yeah.
Well, we are stealthily going.
All right,
and
so you
going
guys
from door
find-
to door and peeking
Find the
under
door.
the
Yeah,
window.
you guys find the door that you think has someone sleeping beyond it. Go ahead and make. We'll go with odd or even. Vesper.
Odd.
All right, the door is not locked.
Nice.
Oh.
If you wish to stealthily open the door, you may do so now.
Okay.
And that's cocked. Just reroll.
All right.
Technical.
Ah,
Are you
one.
freaking kidding me?
Oh.
Steven, do you have another die? I have 2 die 20s. Do you want to
Here,
borrow one of
here.
mine?
Take-
All right, you
That's like the
begin to open the door.
I don't think we've ever
and,
rolled that many ones.
There's no way you could have known. There's no way you could have known, but it has a creaky hinge, and it squeals, which you don't know. Like, you're so taken back by it that you don't know what the sound is at first. Like, you're disoriented by it, right? And so you let go of the door because you're like, if I let go of the door, then it'll stop making the noise. And so then it goes.
Can I attempt to stop it?
Sure. Make a strength check. Weasel strength is 1, I think.
Weasel strength. I've
Yeah.
actually got that. Natural 20.
Oh, the weasel runs forward,
It's like a door
dives at the door, and grabs it with her tiny claws, and is being
Gives
dragged.
you a death look with my little beady silver eyes.
Veins
She's
popping.
being dragged into the room slowly, and she curls up, gets her feet under her, and manages to sort of get overrun by the door, but her body wedges underneath it enough to stop it from moving.
And my strength is 3. It's only a -4.
Well, you did it, Weasel. You did it. Well played. Well played.
Ace that door.
All right. So Violetta
Praise.
immediately sits up in bed.
Oh, but I tried to stop it.
Yeah. Well, you
It
did
was
stop
more
it.
like,
She
You
still
just-
heard it.
Yeah. The door is only open probably a foot and a half. Okay. So she sits up in bed, and you see her rub her eyes. Oh. She rubs her eyes, right? And her hair is like all down and just completely unkempt, and she has a lot of hair. Like you guys have seen very few human beings with this much hair. Like she like has a ton of hair.
Underarms and...
No.
Oh,
She's got like her head hair is like super huge. Like you think that if she put it in a braid, the braid would be as thick as your arm, Vesper. But that's partly because you're an elf, also. Anyway,
She's got some Rapunzel going on.
yeah, she's got a lot of hair, and she's wearing a very modest night coat. And she sits up and she kind of pulls the covers up and she looks around and she says, "Hello? Somebody out there?" And then she goes, "Hello here. Is that you?" And you see a little smile creep on her face. She's like, "You bad boy."
Do you have any chains to remember? Maybe scare her out of this wedding?
Do you guys respond?
No.
Okay. All right, so she gets up and rubs her eyes and kind of looks again, and then she walks over slowly and grabs the door, makes a stealth check, and begins to close it on her own. So make a stealth check to basically get out of the way when she doesn't see you.
Stealth check is going to be not advantage, I don't think.
Right, but you still get plus 10 because of your pass without trace.
17, 27, plus 5 is 32.
Holy. All right, so literally as she goes up to move the door, you
She's a
slip,
weasel too.
you slip under. Yeah, you slip under her dress. You wait for her to take the step towards the door. You bolt to the dresser. As she's closing the door and turns around and she yawns, she's like, and her eyes close. You get under the bed, like you go from the dresser under the bed. So now you're underneath her bed, and she has no idea that there's a weasel in her room.
Cool.
Claw her.
And she comes over to the bed. She
Solid.
sits down on it. Does that thing where she wipes off the soles of her feet before she puts them in bed to get all the grit and everything off. And then she tucks herself in and kind of rolls over, and pretty soon she's breathing softly and slowly.
Can I look around the room?
Sure.
Anything?
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of things here. There's a
Can I see shadows of a weasel under the door?
no, you can't. No, she's moved away from the door.
Okay.
You see. So first of all, the bed is very nice and plush. It's like a huge marshmallow with 4 posts. There's a little like makeup and sort of like curio cabinet off to one side that's just dripping with jewelry. There is a very beautiful dress that is a mixture of the Renaud family colors and like the traditional human wedding wear, which has a lot of lace and like what do I want to call it? Not filigree, but what's the? Anyway, it's got a lot of. You can tell it's a wedding dress. That's my point.
It's got chantilly
nice.
lace on it.
Yeah, it's got it and a pretty face and a ponytail hanging down. Yeah.
No hole in it.
Yeah, and it's super puffy, and there's all kinds of like bottles of perfume around the room, and there's fresh flowers all around the room, and
You know, if you set the house on fire, she'd have to come outside. We can get her.
that's valid. Arson and
can't
kidnapping
hear you.
often
I
go
feel
hand.
like
I can't hear
might
you.
be.
Yeah.
Weasels are true neutral. They don't have morals.
Okay, so
So I see the wedding dress, I see the makeup setup, the perfume.
yeah,
all
she
that
looks
stuff.
like she is very happy and comfortable in her bed, and she's surrounded by wealth and pretty things, and she looks content, and she's, there isn't any frantic scribbling in a journal or like, she's not a cutter.
I'm gonna run over to her
That
wedding
went real
dress.
dark.
Okay,
I'm gonna climb up inside the wedding dress
okay,
and pee on it.
okay.
Like weasel stinky pee, like ferret spray.
Weasel stinky pee.
I mean, there's already weasel
Yeah.
turds all over the place from to grab the door.
Not. I didn't
No.
eat breakfast and
Those
I didn't
are-
have a beer this
Those were
morning.
her. She used every muscle in her body. Like it was like full core. Like
Yeah.
All right, so you. I'm going to say that you had an elf's amount of urine in a weasel's bladder. So you just lay into it. You just
This wedding isn't happening today.
you just all over the inside. You pee everywhere.
I mean, and I would prefer it to be like all on the inside, to where you might not notice it until you put it on.
Okay, well,
So like on all the underskirts.
Man, this is
and
tough.
I-
I thought you wanted to see if this
I
girl
would-
actually wanted to get married because
yeah,
she's
but
definitely
you
not
can't
going to
get
want to.
married
now.
if you're gonna have a stinky dress.
All right.
Right.
I'd like to
Yeah, you
open the
can't.
door again,
Okay.
realizing that.
now that there's a creak, all right, go ahead and roll stealth with advantage. Now that you know there's a creak in the door,
And also that you have to get your weasel buddy out.
All right.
with advantage, roll
Plus
again
10.
because you get to take the higher of the two. You could roll a
Oh,
20.
okay.
Same
so-
thing.
all right. So
13 plus 5 plus 10.
okay.
28.
Yeah, 28.
All right. So this time, you open the door slightly, and as soon as it starts creaking, you hold the door. You reach into your pouch of basically quick disguise. So for if you have to do a street performance or something like that, and you pull out your little bottle of fake tears, which is actually olive oil.
Oh,
Because it doesn't evaporate as fast, right? Like it makes a streak and people can see it, So they really believe that you were bawling your eyes out. You squirt a little bit of olive oil in there. Pretty soon, no creak at all.
okay.
You open the door up. You cannot see a weasel anywhere, but you do see Violetta seemingly peacefully sleeping in her huge bed.
I would hear him open the door most likely because I know he's about to, and it doesn't take me that long to pee on a dress.
Actually, you need to make a perception
Perception
check
check?
because
Sure.
he pretty much nailed the stealth.
14. So no.
14. All right. So you do not know that Vesper has opened the door.
Well, as soon as I'm done, I'm gonna like run out of the door.
Okay. Out of the door?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you're not even going to like run past Vesper? You're just going to bolt?
Well, I'm gonna run out of the door to the room to where he is.
Oh, okay. I see.
Feel around and be like, "Oh, there you are," and then crawl up his leg.
So you see a weasel come out into the hallway and you start going.
I shuffle forward a little bit.
All right. Outside, what have you guys done to remove the blood from the fence post? Because I believe Arister had a good idea,
Yeah.
which was to get rid of that blood. Did you just break it off and throw it into the woods?
No,
Or-
I was gonna cast mending on it. The first time I've ever used this catnip.
All right. So you.
I took it and it
For
wasn't
those
helpful.
watching at home, it's cantrip.
No, it's
I was gonna
Yeah.
trade out one of mine.
All right, so you cast mending. The fence post. It takes you what? 2 rounds or something? 1 round? How long? How long does
casting
it's a
time
cast.
is 1 minute.
Oh, dang.
Okay.
60 seconds to cast that spell.
Yeah, I gotta do a lot
Okay.
of gang signs.
Well, she's
before-
gotta push it back into place and like hold it like with super glue. Where you sit there and you.
Super magic.
Yeah.
glue.
Please, Ara, do
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Thanks.
Please,
Yeah,
alright.
I put some mud on it to dilute the smell
Okay.
of blood.
So you guys go ahead and make a stealth roll to help Kethra hide.
Cathra's
with
gonna
the
need
patrol
it.
because the patrols are going to come by within that minute. At least one patrol is coming by, so everybody needs to
Can
make a
we
stealth
wait
roll.
until after the patrols?
No, let me rephrase. There's not a minute between patrols,
I
so
see.
you're going to need to help disguise her with like bush branches and what have you.
Do I have to roll disadvantage?
I do.
Isn't that a thing?
No, I'm going to say that once you get into position, you can pretty much just
Yeah, I'm not shuffling.
you're just like holding your hand over it and
Okay.
and they're like putting berries in your hair and like leaning branches against you and stuff.
Guys, look, I look like Liliana.
I get a solid 10. No one can see me.
11.
Make a hearing-based perception check to see if you hear that cut, that vicious cut.
Natural one.
Yep. So you're up there. Vesper starts to pick you up, and from somewhere outside you hear, It's really faint, but you're like, that was Kethra. I recognize the voice. All right, so what are your stealth checks?
10.
11.
Oh my god! All right,
Do we
I got
hear-
3.
so
This is why I
it's a
brought my
good
horse.
thing that it's a cantrip because you have to stop. Like they tried to hide you, and they try to hide, and like basically the dog is like pointing at you and like trying to get off the leash, and the guard is looking, and so you stop. Like there's no more glow or any magical muttering or anything, and everybody just sort of freezes, and the guard's like, "Come on, come on."
Is that mulberry bush trying to cast spells?
Yeah, he looks at the fence, but since you pushed the splinter mostly back up, he just sees it as regular damage, and he moves on. You should probably wait for the guy that doesn't have the dog to come around. All right, so and by wait for the guy that doesn't have the dog, I mean roll better. All right, you guys should probably roll better.
Listen,
Okay.
Steven started it.
Let's
Yeah, I know.
let's take 20 on that. We're gonna spend
Yeah.
like 20
Oh,
minutes.
Let's build a
One of those
guys.
guards is eventually going to have to like stop and take a pee, and
Yeah.
there'll be like a lull.
Okay, so I'll let you guys roll another stealth check.
Let's do it.
Okay, this time the metal dice.
All right.
It was worse.
I got a 19.
6.
Ultra stealthy.
Aha! I got a 17.
All right, so you guys start casting the spell. You start like basically disguising Kethra and disguising yourself, and
I thought that crushing the berries to make face paint might be the best option at this point.
All right.
I tell you to go do that. In the bushes.
So you're
then
trying to
like,
disguise yourself, and the guard without the dog comes along and sees you. Wait, what? How much worse did you roll?
I got 6.
A 6. All right. So he comes along and he sees you, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing out there?"
I run into the fishes.
You just gonna run off? He's like, "Hey, don't run!" So then he starts running towards the gate. You guys see him start running towards the gate, and one of the other guards comes along and says, "What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, one of the house servants is outside of the fence line again."
I heard all this, right?
You.
With my natural 20 inside, approximately.
Yeah. You actually probably heard the, "Hey, what are you doing out there? Hey, stop running!" Yeah, you heard that part for sure.
Well,
So I'm not, like,
around this time, you're actually
pulling her-
peeing on the dress. Or
I
whatever.
think we should probably leave.
Yeah,
Seeing as how we're out here staying by the fence.
I feel like they're gonna bring the dogs out.
Probably.
Well, the other patrolman with the dog went with the first patrolman. So now there are 2 guys and a dog who are moving towards the gate, and you know they're going to come back around on the outside of the fence to where you guys are to start looking for her.
We will leave.
Okay,
Stealthily.
We
Well,
definitely came up with a rendezvous.
you probably have about 2 more rounds worth of mending to do. Are you just gonna let it go, or are you gonna finish it up?
Let's finish it up. That's 6 seconds. So that they're not going to be here in 6 seconds.
Okay, so you start.
Oh, really hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me
I
Okay.
about
summon
it.
Ardent Stride.
Yeah.
We ride away.
How do you summon him with
What?
the whistle, right? With the very distinct.
No, he's
whistle.
standing. He's right there. It's Tug.
Ardent Stride is right there. You failed
Ardent
your stealth
Stride
check then.
made a stealth check.
No, it's him when I got a 19.
No.
He's a very stealthy horse.
No, he's not a very stealthy horse.
We just run out into the bushes where he is.
Okay, I would say that you tethered him some distance away from the house.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
All
right,
armor
thinking.
flaps are like.
Good thinking, Arister.
Those were the bushes I was running towards.
Arister's a smart guy. He definitely did that.
All right. You guys start running towards the bushes. You can hear a dog baying behind you.
Can we all fit on your horse?
No.
No.
We both can fit on.
Actually, if they hold real still, you could probably drape one over the front and one could ride behind.
Oh, sure. I'm not going to tell her that, though.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, Ardent Stride is very particular.
Right. I don't. He doesn't need to be loaded down that much.
Yeah. All right. So you guys go ahead and make. Let's go ahead and make acrobatics checks. See how fast you run.
Oh man.
Acrobatics?
Yeah.
I don't think I've rolled that.
Okay.
Athletics would be
Most
how
of them-
long you run. Oh, it doesn't really matter.
Most of
This
the
one's a
times,
timeout.
whenever you make rolls like
Oh.
that, you can use acrobatics or athletics, whichever one's better.
Okay.
Because-
Use acrobatics or athletics, whichever one gives you
Well,
more
that
of an
gets me to
advantage.
10, so good.
I got 16.
I got a 17. Ah,
All right.
We sprint off.
Yeah,
into the woods.
you guys.
Berry face, you're like clink, clink, clink. clink.
Yeah, you
I
guys.
have leather
You guys
armor.
hear
They're
up
the-
ahead.
They're-
You hear
they're not- I don't know what I'm
Macaria
doing.
going. "Whoop, whoop, 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 whoop."
You're off
Woods.
balance. You're missing a.
You guys are like, oh, she's over there. So you guys start running. You catch up to her pretty quickly. The dog, when they release the dog, immediately jets over to the fence and starts licking the blood off of the fence, the mended fence. But it starts looking.
I
They're
rub
like,
dirt on it.
dang it, you dumb dog!
Oh, it's fine.
Find the servant! Find the servant! Get the servant, boy!
Elf
Sick.
blood's extra delicious.
Yeah, elf blood is extra delicious. So there's some underground people that make elf treats.
Should have left you guys in the
Some crime bosses somewhere like, you want the good stuff, kibbles and bits, or the kibbles and bits and bits? All right, so you guys make it back to Ardenstride. You mount and leave your friends.
I'll
Yeah!
we can double mount for a good mile.
All right, so everybody mounts up onto Ardenstride, and you guys ride off, hoping that
Slowly.
you'll be able to circle back and possibly pick up Vesper and Liliana, or that maybe they'll be smart enough to find their own way back.
Fair enough.
All right,
I heard them
So-
leave, so.
yeah, so Liliana is still a weasel in Vesper's pant leg. Or wait, where did you climb up this time?
Always underneath the cape.
Okay, so
On his
when
back.
you grabbed Liliana and tucked her in, then she scurried around under your cape.
That will be established canon from now on.
Yep.
Yeah, it depends on where I want to be.
Anyways,
But I'm on your shoulder, like,
it's
Yeah.
I get it.
All right, so you guys make a stealth check to get out of the house. Since you know your way around the house, I'll give you advantage, or you know your way at least back to the door.
well, Auntie's invisible.
Yeah, but we already established that the invisibility
All right.
doesn't do the advantage.
Natural 20.
Okay, great.
Right.
All right, so
Yay!
you wait for the missus to come out of the water closet and head back to her room. You take the stairs the same time she takes the stairs. That way, if there's any creaking stairs, she'll just think it's her. You get out, move along the east wing, manage to duck under the statue with the hanging lantern thing. It's just like a guy holding a lantern and just swings. You think that at one point maybe they actually lit it for it was outside or something. You don't hit your head on that. You get out the door. You close it quietly behind you. You make it all the way to the fence line. Actually,
Preferably
you-
the one where the guards aren't.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
if there's
actually when
some
you
that
come
are
out of the
away-
house,
It's the game.
you're going to notice that all of the guards and the dogs are now clustered at your first entry point.
We'll go out the other side.
You going to take the gate, or are you going to try to climb the fence?
Just take the gate.
Where all the guards are at?
No, the
No,
guards
they're-
are at the fence
Oh,
line
okay,
where
I'll-
there's
I'll-
blood on the fence. They're trying to figure out where there's.
Okay, I'll take the gate.
All right, so you move across, get into the gate, get out the gate, go out to the rendezvous point, and Ardenstride is gone, and there's nobody there.
All right.
I
I
will
release
track them.
the weasel for tracking.
Yep.
Go, you're free.
Tie a little string around its tail.
Leashing a weasel, huh?
I will immediately pick your little string off
Should have tied
You
it
don't. You
tighter.
can't see me.
and track them.
How much are weasel leashes?
You have never purchased one. so
Doesn't
you-
matter.
you don't know.
Because it will be chewed off within 10 seconds.
I'm pretty sure they're designed to not be able to be reached
No.
by a weasel.
I mean, a couple feet of twine is like what?
Right.
A copper.
You ever seen a weasel chew out of its own
19.
leash? I don't think so.
19.
19 for what?
Tracking.
Oh, you know where they went. They went back to Arragas.
Well, but I'm gonna like catch up with them.
Sure.
I mean,
So,
I can.
with your little weasel feet,
Now
you start
I'll-
booking as fast as you can to keep up with Ardent Stride, the
shim.
warhorse of legend.
I
It does come from-
will.
Who's
Long
also
line
moving
horses.
at about the speed of a
Turn
weasel
into
because
it.
he's laying down, he's got bad
The
knees.
second we get to the road, I dump these two
He's doing that.
slugs off.
He's doing that thing where that slow run with the high
The
hoof
fancy
beats.
one.
Yeah, like the
Fancy.
Yeah,
canter.
it's the dressage horse.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
definitely not.
Yeah.
doing that.
That's the ones I want for the.
And he's like
Stop it.
nodding his head while you guys march.
I tell the weasel, this would be easier with a horse.
I was about to say I drop form and turn into my horse.
We've had
Yeah.
a conversation that we're not in the military anymore, so he doesn't have to do that kind of crap.
Since
He's
I'm
still gone.
He's as stubborn as you are, and he likes to hold on to tradition. It's one of the reasons you guys got along so well.
I'm doing the
All right,
new
so
horse rider thing where I'm laying down and just grabbing onto the horse's neck because I've never ridden a horse bareback.
Fair. Yep, fair. I don't think you would have. All the horses brought to you as a noble would have been pre-broken, and they'd be all saddled up, and there'd be all kinds of shit hanging off of them, like your family pennant and your family crest, and
Also, this is like the
Waving.
third time you ever had anybody ride you.
their manes would be perfectly
I've
coiffed.
ridden plenty.
Whoa.
Whoa! I feel like that was low-hanging fruit, and Julie walked right up and was like, "Sweet, I'll take that." All right, so you get onto the back of Julie Mare. I mean Liliana Mare, not Julie Mare.
Ardent Lily.
I apologize to everyone at home.
Oh, that like makes my name into like nightmare.
Ooh,
Julie Mare.
I didn't even think about it
It's
like
like
that.
an evil nightmare
Yeah.
monster.
Well, I mean, the horse does have silver eyes and a creepy lily on her face. She tries to make it as much like a horse face as she can, but it's got that
there it is.
that smile. Yeah.
There we
There you go.
Oh.
There's the fig. If we can call it that. You need to leave it here so I can put it on a base.
So we
Anyway,
make it back to town?
you guys make it back to town with time to spare.
Excellent.
Basically, the sun is rising when you guys make it back to
We
town.
wait at the gate.
About 5 minutes later, you see who you believe to be Vesper riding up on a horse with ethereal glowing silver eyes, and she waves her mane at you.
It's
In it.
Liliana.
Yeah, and
But you can tell because it's like my eyes and my hair. The like.
You can tell because Vesper's holding up the back of it. Oh God, Joe.
Yeah.
As soon as I
So
see
when
you
he
guys,
gets
I'm
off-
like, and he falls.
We had to flee.
I mean, you can make a check
I
to see if you
yeah,
hold on.
Dust myself up.
You can make an athletics check and see if you can strangle me and
I'm
hold
alright.
on. But
I'm happier not on.
I think we've had enough.
What
of
about the
that.
acrobatics check
Yeah.
to see if you don't roll in the dirt when you fall off though?
and as soon as
Vesper.
I get up to it, I'll be
Yeah.
on for everybody.
I would like to pick my spot.
Vesper, the druid has asked you to make an athletics check to strangle her. I suggest you make it.
Let's see.
Ardent Stride doesn't even
10.
balance that kind of stuff.
You don't have the strength. It's because you've been holding on so tightly,
Right.
like your arms are basically rubber when you fall off, and then you get up and you're just like, ugh.
His thighs are gonna hurt,
Equestrianism. It's for plebes. Plebes and soldiers.
Well, you made it.
And I'm all what up to Ardent Stride.
Yes, we figured
Yeah.
out where.
Arden Stride gives you the standard shake, head shake.
He snubs non-war horses.
We're friends. I've talked to him.
He
several
senses that this horse is as intelligent as he. The first in a
Barely.
long time.
times. Barely, but maybe. How smart
He
is
strikes
Ardent
up.
Stride?
He's trained. He's very well trained. He knows I'm committed.
What's his intelligence score?
He strikes up a hoof
I'm
stomping
pretty sure
conversation
it'll
with you.
go up. Can I do some kind of paladin thing to make my horse intelligent? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's
Eventually.
Eventually.
it's
When he's intelligent, we're gonna have words.
Well, I'm +0 right now, intelligence. So
So you don't even know.
I am kind
Well,
of.
but
I'm just gonna treat you
well,
like
you
a
have your
person.
intelligence. You have your intelligence.
That's plus 0.
I feel like battle horses would be like mentally unbalanced. Like they would. Be,
I would have taken a negative if I was
He's a
alone.
stalwart,
He got gored by a rhino dog.
He
So
has
I think
to.
He would be
but he knows I can heal him with my magic hands.
some pretty
We're
crappy
wise
dog.
as horses.
Anyways,
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you made it back. Is she there?
yes. She's actually in the
West
west part of the east wing.
No, west
Second.
part of the house.
Excellent.
Oh,
we
part of
shall
the-
return with an
That's right.
armed band and raid the house.
I'm gonna drop form.
Well,
If I'm out of view of public.
there was something
Sure,
that
you guys are
happened to
outside
the
the
wedding
gate, so-
dress that they may have to make
Oh, no, you
another
don't know
trip
that.
to the.
You don't know that.
If I opened the door and saw a barrel
Smell.
of weasel piss on a dress,
You didn't
smelled.
see. I said I did it on the inside.
If
Yeah, but
anybody's
you,
gonna
you
smell,
would have
I don't
recognized it as
care.
a wedding dress.
I don't
Oh,
care.
It was
if
huge and
was-
it's on its own like stand and
I'm
it's
saying
like
he doesn't know that I peed in it.
yeah, yeah. You don't know about the pee though. Actually, make a perception check with disadvantage to see if you could have smelled the urine by the time.
this is gonna be a 1. I already know it.
There was one more roll.
Okay, so 12.
Oh, you
14.
You actually did smell the pee. You could smell pee, like it smelled like cat pee in the room.
Okay. Yes. So.
But you don't know that the source is the
I
dress.
suspect, but
but- yeah.
I will drop
Regardless.
form.
I've put the
we
clues
should
together.
come back with an armed band,
Okay,
attack the
so
compound,
She's not going to be able to
subdue
get
all
married
of the
today.
guards,
Oh.
take the girl,
That
and ride
feels-
off.
Illegal.
That's
what
real
that
dumb.
really
she can't
extreme.
get married today. She's going to get real upset.
I don't understand how it's illegal. First off,
Kidnapping?
they're outside city limits.
I don't know if that's how that
Secondly,
works.
she's been kidnapped. Technically, we've been hired to rescue her.
She was there of her own free will.
That does not matter according to the legal system.
Yeah, I
Yeah, but
suppose.
so-
You also answer to a different legal system.
Yeah, what's
Give
your
me-
alignment
Who
again?
protects those
He's
who
protecting
can't
her from a
protect
rapist.
I am protecting her from
themselves. You
rape.
don't know that he's a rapist.
No, I don't, but he does.
No, you don't. You guys don't know that.
I
You've
know
never
he's-
seen
He
him
tried
commit a rape.
to. He
Yeah,
tried
the-
to.
the-
He
There
didn't
was-
try to do anything. He told his men to go get a kiss. He didn't try to rape her at
That
all.
is not the story. I
Doesn't
heard.
matter.
Well, of course
Makaria
not.
told
I
me.
have formed
Of course not, because Macario was
I have
obviously.
formed an opinion that he is a scumbag.
He is a
and
scumbag.
That he deigns marry a girl without the consent of parents.
Sure,
which makes him
but-
a villainous villain.
As a paladin, you would respect legitimate authority,
Uh-huh.
which means that you can't be trespassing and starting arson fires and beating up house guards without
your
legal
alignment?
cause. and-
Neutral good.
Neutral good.
What does that matter?
I'm not lawful.
I just was.
Let me rephrase. You're skirting a line here, and if Givney decides you're not a paladin anymore, it doesn't matter what the law says.
That's fine.
How does it-
I think it's fine to rescue somebody who is been taken.
Doesn't want to be rescued, but she's not getting married today.
Well, I was going to say we could split the difference.
She can't.
While I was in there, a voice in my head said something about maybe causing a fire for distraction purposes. And if we put it
Always a
in
reasonable
an
solution.
unoccupied part
Yeah,
of the
but
house,
what if someone
then they'll.
gets caught in the fire? Like,
Are they
what's
supposed
Well,
to
that's
Sure,
why we
they
started
try.
away from the people. We got our lay of the land, and so if
I
we
mean,
do
I
it in
can
the
on
kitchen,
dress, but
everybody will go eek,
It's not
eek,
like-
eek, and then run out, and it'll be hilarious.
But what if?
Well, if we told her father where she was, then he would probably raid the place with an armed man.
Oh, yes. We should talk to that one guy before we go.
Probably. We're supposed to meet him at noon.
Was the thing we were supposed to find her, or we were supposed to bring
supposed
her
to bring her
back?
back.
We're supposed to bring her back, which
Yeah.
is why I think we should raid the place with an armed band.
Well, what he actually said was, you need to find my daughter and make sure that she doesn't get married.
right,
And bring her back to me if you can.
and we've sabotaged the wedding.
Yeah.
In
So
two
we
different
could
ways.
just report back in now and maybe.
So if
be
we
done.
like
Yeah.
prevent
That sounds good to me.
Olivier
Let's
from
try it.
do that.
sobering, and she's gonna be real pissed about that dress. She is not gonna be wearing that today unless she wants to be a stinky girl.
Hmm.
I did that.
That sounds extremely neutral.
You think? I thought we were trying to be good.
Well, I heard a couple different good ideas. I'm going to put arson at the bottom of the list
Yep.
because that's the least of the good ideas.
Arson's more Ben talking.
But the idea is,
I liked
is that if you can get her outside of the house, it'd be easier to just grab her up and run off into the woods with her. Now, you know she has to come outside at least for the ceremony. There was also some talk about replacing the officiant with a younger, more headstrong version.
Could we simply use
and-
some sort of magic to disguise somebody as Olivier
Ooh,
and
that's-
have
that's
him
pretty
send
You
her
could do that.
Ooh.
to the woods?
If somebody has access to charming magic, you could charm her to come here.
Oh no, we can't do that. That's consent. Blah blah blah.
Come here a minute.
I have.
We have to
charm.
trick her
Do I have
out.
charm?
I have charm person.
I could chaos
We
bolt
could-
her in the head.
Does anybody have?
Should be too woozy
No,
to
I don't
recognize
have
who
charm.
we
I
are.
have
She'll be so busy fighting for life, she won't care who we are.
We're
I
here to
have
help.
charm
But-
and-
Madrid has access.
No, we can't do that yet.
I can calm
I can-
emotions.
I can say this: if you guys go in there and physically attack the guards and raid the house and grab her up and take her,
That seems like a really
the
bad idea.
first thing that the Renaud family is going to do is seek legal recourse for
See,
what has happened.
The thing is, we've sabotaged the wedding. We've gotten rid of the groom. If we make sure that groom does not show up and then he's drunk and whoring during the wedding, she might just get pissed off and go home.
No. I don't want
I
him
don't
to
know.
show up. I
But
think we've
we just
completed
need
our
to
mission.
guarantee that she does not get married.
We
Well,
completed our
well,
mission
yeah.
knowing where she is, and we've indisposed the
Yeah,
groom.
I think we should go check in.
Check in, and then we'll decide from there.
Liliana brings up a good point, though. If you guys want to future-proof your plan, if you take Violetta to where Olivier is drinking and whoring on his wedding day, that'll probably drive a more than permanent wedge between her and him.
We'll
And
do
she
that
would-
with-
Let's just send her. Let's have our forge master over here forge a letter from Olivier to her,
Well-
explaining where he is and
Start a
that
rumor.
sounds great.
why
but
he's not at the wedding.
You've seen Vesper's forgeries, and they're not going to.
They're excellent.
I don't know.
I convinced a man he was going to jail.
Yeah.
I am all for getting her to walk into the establishment and catch him red-handed.
Well,
I like
maybe
that idea.
maybe she's into that sort of thing, and it just ends up backfiring.
I mean,
If that's true, then I.
Is there any kind of like
when he doesn't show up,
Renard
we can
guards
go talk
around
to
or
her.
people who we can like talk about so that word can get back?
Yes, sowing rumors takes several weeks, though, so it's not gonna be.
We're going to
As
be paying
fruitful
for
as you
more
think.
rounds of
Or I can
debauchery.
just approach a guard and say, "Hey, I'm a paladin. Guess what?
You're such a good paladin.
I'm a
talking
great
about
paladin."
Burning down innocent people.
So you're gonna approach like a house guard at the Renaud family estate in Arragas and say, "Hey, your boys at
That's a really bad
Arragas.
idea because then
Because
mom and dad will
hide
go
it.
get him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I could go charm a guard and talk to them, but I think we should just let him not show up, let her get mad, and then one of us can talk to her, and she'll be like, "I can't believe he didn't show up," and be like, "Oh, I saw him at this place. It was really weird."
Or I saw him walking into this really weird, creepy spaghetti place.
Uh huh.
I think that's where he is.
what? Wait,
But yeah.
Yeah, remember the
Yeah,
time?
it looks like
And we were like,
England.
it's not a spaghetti place, it's a joke from the last
Oh
episode.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Hi,
a good
Sean.
callback.
Okay,
We
yeah,
can
yeah.
just hand
The
a
sign.
guard a letter
Yeah.
that's sealed
Tangled up new
from
legs.
Olivier. that
I
says-
don't like notifying anybody of his whereabouts. I think as long as we go check in, tell them where they're at, ask them if we... Because the hardest thing is going to get her to go there by herself. Most likely it'll be the other members of the Renaud family.
I don't
This is
think so.
pretty.
We can
well-
get her to go.
This is locked down under control. Like
We just
The
need
entire
to make sure he
thing
doesn't
is,
show up. Let's go check in with her.
Shameful.
How long do we have? Like, what time is it right now?
It is literally prime. The sun is cresting the horizon.
Okay, so we have
as
all
you guys-
morning to
You have
decide.
all morning.
Okay.
We can
yeah.
wait till noon and then check in with the boss man.
with Dagon,
Yes.
or do you want to go over Dagon and go to 8?
No, we can check in with Dave.
Okay.
He's our guy.
I
Yeah.
think we'll get more money out of them if we make her dislike him.
Can't we do both?
We're not getting any money out of this.
Well, but I mean,
We're
look at the
getting
decade.
promises of future business.
Yeah, you guys are remember
Try not to piss
Adel's
everybody off.
yeah, but Adel's
You're securing a business contract,
You
basically.
pissed on a
Well,
dress.
let
We are
me-
far from.
A mouse pissed on her dress.
Illegal?
It's more like you pissed everybody on.
Yeah, okay, so Adel Castellani views this as you guys settling the debt you owe to him. And he said, if you guys handle this, then I might consider hiring you guys in the future to do other things for me.
Right.
But this isn't like you guys are doing pro bono work. Like he basically said, if my daughter ends up getting married to this guy, I'm holding you guys personally responsible for that.
Well, let's just make sure that he does not show up. We can check in beforehand, and then see what happens at the wedding. We'll send somebody to see what happens.
All right. Does anybody besides the renting of the coach? Oh, actually, let's just move into this mode. What's everybody wearing to the wedding?
That's a very good.
You
I'm
have a
going-
uniform that you think is going to be ready today. You, I'm sure, have something, but you also want to wear a disguise. You're going to rent a coach, a stagecoach, or a carriage.
Are
Yes.
we going to the wedding?
Yeah, we
Are
have
you?
an invitation.
Are you? I mean, there's an invitation. You guys at least need to be there to help advise her when she has a mental breakdown that someone pissed on her dress and her groom is nowhere to be
I'm
found.
going
Right?
to wear my vestment.
One of us
Are
could
you
just
gonna infiltrate?
walk
As a
over
officiant?
and whisper it in her ear.
No, I was just kidding. I'm not really going to
Really?
hurt another
Oh, that's too bad.
priest. I'm not really going to hurt another priest.
Well, you don't have to hurt. You don't have to hurt him.
The most trustworthy of us should
I
probably
don't
do.
want to
attack another like Maria's.
deity's
I'm not sure where
baby.
your
I don't feel like
head's
that's a
at,
good thing.
Okay, all right, all right.
Checking.
I mean, it was funny
So,
to talk about.
Could I,
Yeah.
could I see if I know any legal precedents as far as marriage on replacement grooms?
What?
Yeah.
So, like a series of unfortunate events where, like, they
Yeah,
just
no,
plug in
it is,
everybody.
go ahead and roll knowledge. Let's go with history again, I guess, since there isn't law.
Okay, 17.
17. All right. So according to statute 183.6 of the Community and Civil Union Law,
Mm-hmm. I know.
which you had occasion to look up once you found out that you were betrothed to someone you didn't want to marry.
Yes.
It is illegal for a man or any other person to masquerade as the lawful husband of a bride for the purposes of getting her to marry the wrong person.
Well, no, as far as... So
Or
if
for
the
the
groom
purposes
is
of
unavailable, the father
Can stand in.
stands in as
Why would that be a thing?
That should probably
Yeah,
not.
there is no
There's no
precedent
way.
anywhere in the law that says that you can have a substitute groom.
Okay.
And there's
The
no way
closest-
noble
that's-
ladies
The
gonna be
closest that
like,
it comes to
"Oh,
saying
didn't
is
show up.
it is illegal for
I'll
any
marry
man to
this
trick a
other
bride
one."
into marrying him when she thinks that she's marrying someone else.
Okay.
She's not gonna accept that anyway. She's gonna be pissed that he's not there.
Maybe.
I just want to make sure.
Not as pissed as his parents.
Well,
They're gonna be super pissed.
I say we check in and then we go from there. Formulate a plan once we understand, because we could pull resources.
Yeah.
From Castellani, he might give us more manpower to.
Well, let's just go to the wedding. Make sure everything goes according
bad.
to our plan, which is that the guy doesn't show up and that the girl gets mad. And then if she storms off into the city, we can follow her and make sure she knows he's at the happy fun time place, Carnopolis.
Carnopolis. Okay, so again, I ask you, what is everybody wearing to the wedding?
For
My vestment.
My
Investments, fur.
my most elegant paladin
They're wearing
stuff.
furs. All furs. They're like 6 years old and they came from Buffalo, but they're furs.
nah, I'll take a short rest and then I'll just be a mouse on somebody's shoulder.
I'll be wearing whatever it is the Capulets wear in that 1960s version of Romeo and Juliet.
Shoes.
Big puffy sleeves.
Florence.
and
you know,
The
from
hat
the
with
view.
feather.
Like the really puffy shorts
Yeah.
and the big brimmed hat.
Yeah. Did you
Sure.
quarrel, sir?
Did you bite your thumb at me? All right. Noon rolls around. You meet up with Dagon at the heretofore agreed spot, which I believe was the Copper Kettle. Is that where you guys were meeting since you're all kicked out of the Dragon's Teardrop? Because you're all a bunch of assholes.
And as I go by, every time I go by, I'll just make a little
I was super
glass
nice.
ring out on the inside.
I paid for everything.
Okay.
They're gonna think that
Lumping
place
us
is
into
haunted.
one group.
It's true.
Good.
One group of malcontents in there. All right. You guys meet up with him. He says, please tell me that you found her.
We did. She's at this estate.
Oh, thank Kara.
We also sabotaged the wedding.
How did you do that?
Well, he's
The groom is
Indisposed
indisposed for the
and-
next week.
her dress
Nope.
got messed up.
Oh, and her dress got messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I understand how that would stop a wedding.
Mhm.
I wouldn't want to get married unless I was wearing my best.
Exactly.
Of course, I don't want to get married, so.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like,
Well, we're
Can I
going to-
insight check Dagon
Marriage is a
to
beautiful
see
thing, guys.
if I can glean that he's involved in this at all?
Yep.
If he's a double agent?
Yep.
Secret?
Good, that would give me an excuse to fight him.
Ah, one.
Why?
All right.
Another
He's
one.
entirely
You are so
trustworthy.
convinced
So-
that he.
Oh.
He is not a double agent
Okay.
unless he knows that you know.
you have
Oh.
no idea.
But
You're
if-
so
I see.
But if you know that he knows that you know,
Right.
then he would have to know that you knew that he knew that you knew.
Yeah,
Exactly.
this makes sense.
I see his head hurting,
The best thing to do is just play along for now.
and I just. It's okay.
Naturally.
If he knows.
So.
I placed 2 walnuts on the windowsill.
So as far as recovering her goes,
I mean, we could wait.
our
Or we could-
plan.
Yeah, Adel is extremely anxious because it's the day of the wedding and nobody
Our
has
plan
any leads whatsoever.
is
I'm
to-
glad you guys found her.
attend the wedding.
Okay.
That isn't happening. But
That isn't happening,
Yes.
but they don't know that.
Okay.
And then pull her aside and explain to her that we maybe saw him in the city and see if she goes after him. And then you can pick her up at the place we tell her to go.
Actually,
We do
That's
believe-
great.
We do
Where's
believe
the
that
place?
this will tie, like,
Pick up spot.
do you have any
destroy her
resources we could use as far as
Well, I mean,
rather
we're
than
fans
us
from the
infiltrating
wedding.
the place again? Is there nothing you can do now that you're armed with the knowledge that
I mean, they're
she's
not
in the west part of the
gonna
house?
be able to give us an
upstairs?
invitation.
Oh no, we can't. If we set foot on his property, then he would charge us with trespassing and everything else. He would throw the book at us.
It's not that hard. You just
I mean,
don't-
Adel would do the same. They hate each other.
It's not that hard. You just climb the tree instead of the fence. That's-
No, you don't understand.
It's like-
Like if we go in there, they're gonna recognize us, and then there's gonna be all kinds of legal ramifications. And trust me, the boss doesn't want that.
Alright.
It's gotta
So,
be you guys. That's fine.
We'll meet you at a place called Carnopolis.
Never heard of it.
All right.
You're in for a surprise.
Don't go
It's-
inside.
it's
Don't
in-
go
Colorful.
inside.
It's in the
Don't
pleasure
go
district.
inside.
Just ask around. I'm sure you'll find it.
Okay, strange place to meet, but okay,
I could
I understand. Discretion.
charm
Indeed.
one of the guards and have him spread the rumor.
All right.
We'll worry about that when we get to the wedding.
When you get back to Sable Guard, there is a note. Vance is there, and he's like, "Oh, somebody dropped this off for you." And
Great.
you open the note, and it says, "Your uniform is ready. Please stop by the shop for payment."
Okay.
And it's signed V.
I tell him I'm going to write him another note that says, bill it to my estate.
Or can't you just drop by the store and say, bill it to my estate? Because-
That's what I'm probably going to do.
Yeah.
Bill it to your estate.
The estate.
The estate.
His
I've
mommy's
seen it,
gonna
it's
pay
not.
for it.
I'll make my mom pay for it.
His mommy's paying for it.
Okay. Oh, powerful general makes his mommy.
I'm not a powerful general.
His dad was.
My dad was a powerful general.
Well, no. Didn't you say in the when he was asking you what rank you were or whatever, didn't you say that?
Well,
you
he
were
doesn't know that it's not
region?
his money. Like, if it's
No, he
charged
was
to the
totally
estate,
truthful
then he's
when
just
he
like,
talked to
cool,
the
it's the
tailor.
estate.
Yeah.
You poor widowed mothers. You're gonna get this.
All right.
I told him that
You
that I wanted it
you guys
fixed
want
up
to
regardless.
treat you guys want to treat Versace as if he doesn't know the political maneuverings of the upper crust. That's fine.
Thanks, Duchess.
He's fine with that. What did Duchess say?
We look like a coordinated express ad, Stephen and I.
Yeah. All right. You stop by the shop.
Did you guys plan this?
you
Nope.
pick up the
Are you
uniform.
here?
It
No.
looks amazing.
Okay, I wear it.
Like you've not seen, like, some of the officers don't have uniforms that look as good as this, right?
Perfect.
I mean, it's crisp. Everything is in perfect alignment. It's the right color. It looks like it just came off the presses. And it fits very well for having only measured you, 3 or 4 times. Like,
Excellent.
He
Will they
basically
let me in
eyeballed
the
the
shop
rest of
again?
it. Huh?
Because I want to. Will they let me in the shop again?
Yeah, you can come back in.
I don't take anyone with me.
No, I'm coming. I'm
don't
coming.
let anyone
Nope, I'm
read
coming.
the letter?
I'm coming. I want to go to the shop.
No.
I want to go.
No.
Just let me go.
No.
Please.
I don't let anyone read the letter or know where I'm going.
Please.
It's complete discretion.
Can I roll perception to see if I can read the
Roll
letter?
roll insight.
I burn the letter after I get it.
That's what's giving you away.
I'm going there anyway.
Oh, I'm probably open to beer by now.
Yeah. so Arister slips off. Vesper, you go and secure a carriage. What did I say it was last time? 10 gold pieces for the day?
It was 2. But his is fancier, so it's probably gonna be a
So
5.
you get a fancier. We'll say 10. The guy looks at you shifty eyed and he's like, well, no, she was like, it was 10 gold pieces.
Better be flowery, damn it.
It is. Put some flowers on it.
The horses are properly trained to.
Prance.
Yes.
Yes, they're finest canter
All
in the
wedding
city.
carriages have prancing horses.
Finest canter in the city.
All right.
They've all got matching feather headdresses too.
Excellent.
It's the only-
And a driver who's
the
not
only
too
one
drunk.
we have left is this one that's shaped like a giant silver pumpkin.
Excellent.
Whether or not
Just
he,
what I had in mind.
whether or not he wants me to, I'm going to the tailor shop because he reminded me when he dropped off that note this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm gonna go in there. and
Okay.
get a silk handkerchief.
Can I help you, madam?
Oh, yeah.
He pulls a silk handkerchief out and then places it gently to his
I
lips.
like
Oh, I
what I
need one
said.
of those.
I didn't know you had such interesting clientele.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I have tried the suit on.
Okay.
Get over
Uh,
it.
he
Can I
says,
get a silk handkerchief, please?
I don't know, can you?
Oh my god.
I don't understand.
Well,
He would have just given it to her.
Around-
You are the one
around
that
here-
has goods. I'm the one with money. Can I?
Oh, so you have money. Yeah, then yes, you can have a silk handkerchief.
You guys talk weird.
We don't accept walnuts or whatever.
How much? I
Uh,
mean, I've got walnuts. Do you want walnuts?
what color of a handkerchief do you want?
Something. What color did she rub her face against when we were in here? Cathra? What color was that?
Blurpleberry.
I'm not sure that was established.
Crimson.
What's Cathra's favorite color?
Blue.
Okay.
We
Got-
have
you
we
got
have
a sky
16
color?
we have 16 different blues.
I'll pick the one that is closest to aura colors.
Fine, stand right there.
Well,
You
I mean, I want to see them and I will pick them.
I will show them to you if you stand right there.
Just need a handkerchief. Jeez. Do you have breathing problems? I
he
mean, I
walks-
can make you a cocktail, some vapors to inhale. I've got tea leaves
No,
in here.
but it smells like the woodlands in here now.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. He goes off into the corner. He gathers up
Do
some
you need
stuff,
something? Why are you
Fancy
Puts it on-
suit.
puts it on,
Thanks.
on a
Why are you
display
here?
case.
Shop.
walks out,
Okay.
and he has a
Let me know next time. I'll pick something up for you.
he has like a what looks like a water reed. It's about 6.5 feet long, and he walks over and he places the scarves over here, and then walks over to you and hands you the water reed and says, "Point to the one you want."
Huh?
Use the reed and point to the scarf you want. I can't have you handling the merchandise.
If I want this one.
It's
I
still-
poke that one.
You poke him? You poke for snakes?
No, I poke the scarf in his hand like. I don't poke him in the face.
He pulls it out and he says, "This isn't blue. This isn't even close."
I'm just kidding. I just give me that one.
All right. So he walks over, grabs the scarf that you indicated with the pointer. He packages it,
Probably didn't use the pointer.
then thinks better of it, and just wraps it in some paper.
Oh my gosh. How much?
This particular handkerchief is 13 gold pieces.
Done.
Holy shit.
Oh.
Wait. Is that a lot?
Is this a...
Did you say oh?
No, that was
I'm
Amanda.
nonplussed by anything you do.
13?
Is 13 a lot? Did you ask?
No, Kethra asked that, who's not even here. So that
Oh no, actually she did ask that. She said, "Is that a lot?"
Yeah. I asked Arister,
oh.
is that a lot?
Not to you.
Oh. I may have misjudged you earlier,
A
madam.
beer is like that much.
Do you have more than
Do you want the
13
scarf?
griffins?
Yeah.
Then pay for it and let's go.
Answer my question
13
first. Do you have
seems
more
like
than
a
13
lot.
griffins?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
You know I have a matching headband. I could throw it in for an additional 7 griffins.
I want a blue silk scarf.
I have that.
I-
Oh, scarf?
sir,
Not a handkerchief? Oh,
sir.
scarves are much longer, much
Sir.
more material.
I suggest
Handkerchief.
you just take her money and give her the handkerchief.
I'm trying to take her money.
I was asking you, as my dear friend, if 13 seems like a good price for a scarf.
You two
And
are
it's
together?
for that particular scarf, it is
Yeah.
an excellent price.
It seems like a lot.
All my prices are excellent. I can't believe you're having... I'm right here. I can hear you. My quality is unmatched.
It does it
My
seem
price
like,
is impeccable.
does it seem like an unfair price for such a high quality item?
Are you asking me that question in my
I
own
think
place
Ben
of
is
business?
No,
asking
Ben
you
is
a
asking
fair
Game
to
Master.
DM.
Do I feel
Oh,
as if
no. This is high quality silk.
Okay,
Like, it's-
then,
yeah,
then yes,
no.
I'm saying it is
He's
an excellent
offering.
price.
He is not trying to cheat her out of money. He is now trying to offer other things in the store
Yeah,
because it's sort of
I'm
like a pretty
explaining-
woman thing.
I'm explaining
where
to
she
this-
comes back with all the bags. She's like, "Oh, I should have sold me some
I
shit."
was just saying, like,
I'm
you can get a
explaining to this
fabric
extremely
sample
wealthy,
that's the same size.
eccentric, what the price of money is.
13 gold for a square of silk seems like very, very much too much. But,
This isn't a square of silk.
yeah, it is.
First of all, it's a rhomboid. I never cut anything square. Second of all,
I'll pay
this
it.
silk comes from Wenhaver. Have you ever been to Wenhaver? I assure you it's an arduous journey. And the people in Wenhaver, they know their silks.
The magical silkworm trees,
There are so many.
indeed.
It brings a tear to your eye.
Except the one white one, which I assume that this silk comes from.
No.
It only
this
produces
silk-
one thread per day.
No, this silk. If I had even a swath of that cloth, it would be worth much more than 13 gold.
Indeed.
Griffins. Are you purchasing this scarf, madam?
Yeah. I was just saying, like, that's the stuff that, like, silkworms poop
he
out.
folds it-
I didn't think it was that expensive, but okay.
I wouldn't spin it like that, but yes, everything you said is true. Here's your silk scarf.
Thanks. Here's your money.
Come back anytime.
I did.
I leave.
City people are weird.
You do smell like the nature.
Yeah, but it's like pine and berries and
Yes.
clean,
It's not
fresh
like
mountain
manure.
air. Entered, but you know.
Or you know that these rich humans all cover themselves in perfumes so that they don't smell natural at all.
Yeah, it's gross.
They want to be as far away from the nature as possible, unless it is carefully manicured by professionals who spend their whole lives doing it.
I mean, you also did spend time as a weasel today. So.
And you
you
did pee all over the place.
Shifted.
There, a little bit of pee got on you. You had to climb down.
No, I
A little pee,
shifted.
a little pee
It's
got on
gone.
you. Just tiny bit of little weasel pee.
When the fur
Little
disappears.
weasel pee.
Let me ask you
Don't
this:
look away.
how used to peeing as a weasel are you?
Not. That was her first time.
I mean, I was
highly doubt that.
vertical, so it all.
Now you would understand what all the druids laugh about around the campfire when they talk about tinkle spray.
How hard is it to pee as a weasel, you guys?
Oh, it's easy to pee as a weasel.
Ah,
It's just not that easy to stay out of the pee as a weasel.
ah.
I was literally hanging with my butt facing down inside of a dress. There's nothing got on me.
We're gonna
Yeah,
illustrate.
but then you had
it
to
next
get
time.
down.
I don't think you would care that much. And
How
there would be
about
little
the
pee
neck
pop
hole?
prints.
You know,
Going
It
out
doesn't
the-
matter. I shifted. I'm good.
acrobatics check.
Oh my god.
Retrobatics check.
I leave.
Is that a 3?
I leave right
4.
now.
Okay, add all your.
I don't know what weasel acrobatics are.
pee. Yeah, I love pee.
I
There's
gotta
no
take weasel
way you
stats.
got out of there without weasel pee on you.
I would have crawled out the
Let me
neck hole.
check my weasel stats. Hold on. Yeah, advantage when avoiding my own piss.
That is 7.
Can I take that as a feat?
All right, you don't get any pee on you.
I take that as a feat. The piss avoidance
All
feat
right.
sounds.
That's just no. It's not a Showgirls reference. It's just my attempt to make the joke while avoiding a lawsuit in case Versace is watching the show. Okay, you guys secure an awesome uniform, your best temple robes. You're just wearing your scar show off vest, right?
It'd be really hard. I don't want to wear a dress. I don't want to do it.
Well, you don't
How
have to
does
wear a
my
dress. You,
military
You wanna
attache?
guard?
you,
to
you
make
probably.
sure
Oh,
you
what did
stay-
you
you
do with
have,
your
like, nice
Millipole
pretty
uniform?
armor?
You can go.
Yeah.
You can go as the
That's
stagehand.
You
I
do
could
have
like
roadie.
like some dress.
a
Everybody in
military
Millipole has a
uniform?
dress uniform.
Then I'll do that. That
Okay.
works.
Okay, roll Constitution to see if you still fit. Just kidding. Of course it still fits. You got a whole bunch of your stuff pulled
I was
out by
gonna
Manticore. Oh man, I'm the worst DM ever. I'm the meanest DM. All right, Vesper's dressed up in his finest nobility, but also he's disguised
Collar.
as. Wait, did we decide whether you're going as the general or not?
I was gonna go as Pippi, but
Okay, oh, that's right. You're going as Pippi. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Okay, Pippi. And then you have purchased what I thought was a silk scarf for you, but it turns out it's a silk scarf for Kefra.
Kefra.
Because you're going to show up as a mouse. And just so you know, I was leaning on the weasel. If you pee as a mouse, you're getting it on you. You're going to run through it because it'll be like a sprinkler. Mice's peas are like sprinklers.
I've owned a mouse as a pet. They
A
do
rat.
walk in their own pee.
They walk around in their own pee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All
Wild
right.
ones are cleaner because they don't have to like sit in a cage.
So Vesper, since Pippi is showing up as the entertainment, who are you going to give the fake invitation to?
she can. Who's dressed the nicest?
Probably
Arister.
Arister. Yeah, he has
There
he
you
has
go.
he has a Versace uniform. You can't read the label, and even if you could, actually, you probably know. It's good. It's high quality stuff. It's a pretty penny.
I mean,
His
Pippi's
mom is
gonna
probably
be
going to
dressed
come
the
find him
nicest.
later and be like, "Why did you buy this suit?
I'll say, look how good I look.
Look how good I look. Look how good I look."
I would imagine that.
Dad's pension is huge by this point.
She's gonna be like, "Give back the Orleans family war battle.
I know.
I need to put it back on the Orleans family
I
table.
need it
end
for,
table.
for battle.
Yeah, but
Mom!
Going into
Mom.
battle, Mom. I need my horn.
Okay,
So
I
on that-
wanted to do the infiltration of the wedding tonight, but
On that
it
note.
is 10:15, so we are going to end here, and we will pick up the infiltration of the wedding next week. So just as a reminder, next Tuesday the 15th, and I will update the Twitch channel with all this information, but next Tuesday the 15th is our first episode of Roundtable, and then next Wednesday the 16th, am I doing that right? is it 15th and 16th?
Yep.
Yep. Next Wednesday the 16th, it will be Arragas City of Dreams, where we will continue this adventure into the wild world of upper crust weddings and dresses that have been urinated on
In.
by weasels.
Urinated in.
In.
It's such a controversial topic.
Yeah.
Urine.
Don't miss a moment of the show.
Rip roaring excitement.
These is-
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close it up here. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I hope that you guys had a really great time. Duchess, LOL, her channel is awesome, so you guys need to go watch it and interact with her. She's very entertaining and she's fun to talk to. And then don't forget the podcast Tales and Ales. If you guys have not given it a chance, look it up, listen to it. I guarantee you you're going to love it on the first go. Okay, so have a good night, everybody. And Mom, if you're still watching, I will see you later.
Bye-bye.